Hello, Top Fan Rivalry supporters. You know what? It's Thursday. So you had Ashley to start out the week on Monday. You had Harmony, who is Mike's best friend of all besties, especially during the lives. Harmony is there. She's awesome. And then you had a way back Wednesday. We gave you a little throwback to the Wednesdays. And now it's that time. It's that time to unravel baseball. Mike's here, Harmony's BFF. Mike, how's it going, man?
Hey, Harmony. Oh man, we're having fun, Bill. We're picking right up where we left off. Picking back up right where we left off on Monday night. Uh, after or with our box break, it was so much fun. Tons of laughs. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely head back in time a few days and check out our box break from Monday. But I'm doing great, Bill. It's been a great week. How about you?
It has been a phenomenal week, and you're absolutely right. You guys, Mike, so Mike and I did a 2023 kind of quasi chase where we did a holiday blaster box and we did at A and G hobby box.
Alan and Ginter. Alan and
Okay.
Ginter.
Alligator. And so, anyways, we're doing this, and Mike's like like everybody's the coveted Santa Claus. And the first pack we rip open,
Right.
Mike pulls a
Yeah.
Santa Claus. And the best part about this is the behind the scenes where Amber says nobody is going to pay X dollars for non-baseball cards. And that was the first thing that got snapped up. Boom. And next thing you know, we got the Santa Claus.
That's right. And that's not even what we were looking for. That was the
No,
complete bonus of that break. So,
no, we got
uh,
eagles flying. We got like all
that's
kinds
right.
of birds.
Some real talented birds.
We got like 17 different women that are in sports,
Yep.
cards. We got a
Yep.
couple of like not even A, B, C, or D actors, E list actors in there. It
Yeah, we
was pretty
love them.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. So if you're not hanging out every other week with TFR and Heads Up Sports Cards, you are missing out.
What are you doing? Right?
Right?
What are you doing?
Get on the bandwagon. Plus, you get the same comedic banter that Bill and I always have.
Which is the best part about it,
Right?
right?
We make each other laugh, so we should probably be making everyone else laugh also. I
Let
think.
Listen, for some people, it'd be hard work to be this good. Us, it's just natural.
Right?
Sam, take a note that we're just natural and
Like
we're better looking
Sadler and
than you.
Waldorf, like we
Write
are
that down,
like.
Sam. Write it down.
Yeah.
Right. Any- Anyways, Mike, walk us through the Red Sox. The Red Sox are have turned the corner since we last talked. So let's
Yeah, man. It last we talked, it was doom and gloom, and they were getting beat up by the Angels and the White Sox, and every other awful team in baseball. And now they are the ones that are beating up on all the awful teams in baseball.
Mhm.
You know, we've swept the Nationals. Played a heck of a series against the Rockies because the Rockies are so darn tough this year. Uh, yeah, so things are. It seems like the ship is righting, and for all the right reasons. It's not like these aren't like pushover wins. They are like pounding the ball
Mhm. Mhm.
all over the
Mhm.
place. They're not just like squeaking by and playing bad baseball and winning because they're playing bad teams, but they're actually like playing good baseball and taking care of playing the game the way that it should be. We're seeing. Um, and we knew it would only be a matter of time, but Roman Anthony is really finding his place in the lineup, and he's starting to really shine. So much so that there is like and I think that we touched on this in our last episode, but the chatter around Jaron Duran and the potential of a Jaron Duran trade has really amped up here in Boston as of late, and it's because Roman Anthony is sadly making Jaron Duran an expendable player on the roster.
100%. You know, it's funny because on Tuesday morning, I did the morning show and I had our good friend Leslie on, who's been on this show, right? Red Sox fan.
Right.
And she was so funny because we were talking and she said the same thing. And it was kind of with this smile the whole time. Like she was as happy as could be. But here's what was interesting is I pulled stats on Tuesday and I said, come like your guys' comeback player is Trevor Story.
Oh
In
yeah,
every
totally.
offensive category, he either leads the team or is number two in hits, RBIs, home runs. I think even batting average. I don't remember if
I
I
mean,
looked at batting average.
he's not only the comeback player of maybe the uh from last season, but from this season. Like he was not
Yeah,
good at the beginning of the season, and he's really picked it up when he's had to. Since the it's so funny how things work out. Like we just shipped all the negative energy in the Boston Red Sox clubhouse right into the Bay Area, right into Sam's lap. We
Sammy,
can
we appreciate you.
we can go back and we can listen to the episode where Sam and I talk about Pablo Devers and what a great trade that was for the Giants.
Yep,
And
yep,
we'll see how well that aged, like a glass of warm milk.
yes, like a glass of warm milk sitting on a fire.
That's right.
Yeah,
He's
you
doing the
know,
same stuff. Rafi's doing the same stuff that he did here that got him shipped out of town. You have Will Clark like, hey man, I'll work with you. Like, let's get out in first base, and you're like, nah, I'm good.
mhm. Well, and see, in baseball, there's two types of baseball, right? There's the business of baseball and the fandom of baseball. Mike, you and I have talked about this at nauseum, and 90% of the time, those two don't mesh at all. They don't
Sure.
mesh,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
90% of the time. And when you have a trade like Rafi Devers, it is a sad thing. It is kind of like the shock value, but then about a week later, nobody cares. And
Yep.
especially the way that this is happening and the way that this is shaking down for Rafi. Like right now, everybody's Roman Anthony, right? They don't care. Rafi
Right.
who?
Rafi who? I
Like,
mean, on the radio today they were playing and this is a clip that we talked about last season, where they were interviewing Boston fans about the Red Sox and they pronounced Devers' name wrong, right? He was the most prominent player on the roster and they didn't even know his name, how to say his name correctly. And
yeah.
that was 100% being played all over on our radio station today, and I just had to laugh because I was like, it was just like exactly what I told Sam was going to happen. So like it could have been fungo bats and batting practice balls, and it would have been a good deal for the Red Sox. So
So it's an incredibly good deal for the Red Sox because again, they and Sam and I debate this online and offline. These guys are paying 52 mil tickets next season to Rafi and to Matt Chapman combined.
yep.
And Sam's like, "Well, we got the money. We got the money." Well, do you? Do you? In
Well,
two
eventually you run
players,
out of the money. I mean, Sam's not
exactly.
paying the bill, so he doesn't know what's going on. But
Yeah.
the Giants are losing their foothold. They're not. I don't even think they're in the wild card anymore.
No, they're I when I looked last time they were game out, but I didn't look this
Yeah.
morning.
So,
Um, well,
uh,
here's what's funny is Sam keeps saying, "Oh, but the Giants have money. The Giants have money. The Dodgers are doing it just fine." Yeah, but the Dodgers have this one player named Shohei Ohtani who's going to get you hundreds of millions of dollars from Japan.
he's a magician.
I mean, this guy sneezes, and next thing you know, they have Shohei Ohtani Kleenex. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yep.
a whole different game when you're talking about these guys. And so I just let, oh, they got plenty of money. They can spend it. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
But
Um,
Another thing too is that as we kind of transition topics, right? I'll make a nice segue here for us, and
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm real professional, I like to talk about the amazing things that I'm going to do
Please
during
do.
our show.
Yes. I'm putting my
Um,
left sock on first and then my right
that's
tomorrow. I'm
that's
mixing it
right.
up, boys.
Right? Watch out.
Heads up.
Last season there was a whole lot of hubbub in the offseason about the new general manager that the Red Sox brought in. His name Craig Breslow, as we well know,
Yeah.
and is well documented on this show. Craig Breslow has gotten kind of some heat, about everyone's not too sure on like the moves that he's made and the moves that he's making and stuff like that, right? But especially after the Devers trade, everyone's like, "Hey, is this going to be like the next Mookie Betts trade?" Blah blah, so on and so forth. Obviously, it's not. Craig Breslow is starting to turn the corner for a lot of people around here because, we have a little thing coming up in the next week or so called the Midsummer Classic, the All Star Game, right? And the Red Sox representatives for their All Star Game are Garrett Crochet,
Mhm.
Aroldis Chapman, and Alex Bregman, all three of which were acquisitions by Mr. Craig Breslow in the offseason in one way or another, whether through free agency or trade. So, what does that say about Craig Breslow and what's really going on? He is a baseball intellect. He is working very closely with another baseball intellect in Theo Epstein, even though Theo is probably not doesn't want any of the credit. But I'm sure that he's involved in conversations. It's not public that that's happening or not, but I surmise that there's probably some influence of Theo with Craig, and he's doing a great job, and the Red Sox have three, two and a half well deserving All Stars.
Yeah. So, first of all, we need to start referring him to it as Governor Theo because I'm pretty confident that this guy, if he ever decides to run for governor of Massachusetts, he's going to get like 97% of the vote. And the three people that, or the 3% that don't vote for him aren't sports fans. So let's just start calling him Governor Theo if we,
Right?
want to be so bold. Um, the next thing that I would say is, yeah, again, it's the business of baseball versus the fandom, and so right now we don't know the conversations that happen between Rafi. We don't know the conversations that happen, and now you're seeing product on the field. Garrett Crochet is amazing for you guys.
Oh yeah.
He's absolutely amazing, and those other two, Chapman's at the end of his career, but
Sure.
Crochet, Breckman, and dare I say, very
Carlos.
soon, Roman Anthony will be all stars for several years.
Oh,
For
sure. Yes, totally, 100%.
was there any snubs in the American League that you felt?
I mean, there's always snubs, like it's there. Let's talk just a little bit about like who's on the team,
Okay,
uh, and we'll talk about whether they deserve to be there. I really think actually that the entirety of the starting lineup, 100% should be there. You have Big Dumpa, who is just
he's
still leading
killing
the
it.
world in
He's killing it.
everything. So
Yeah, he's
uh,
making the.
he,
It's like
he
a freaking beach ball that they're pitching him out there, and he's just
oh,
just
he's
killing it
he's
every
gonna
time.
be he's the number one attraction for the All-Star game. He has to be. There can't be anybody that that people are going to be more excited to see than
Yeah,
Cal Raleigh.
100%.
And Major League Baseball is just cashing in on it too, and they're
Ching,
promoting it.
ching.
That's right. Uh, I'm excited to see Cal Raleigh there because not only do I love a good catcher, but this guy totally deserves to be there, and it's awesome. Vlad Jr., Glaber, Jose Ramirez, Rookie of the Year, Jacob Wilson, uh, Aaron Judge, Riley Green, Javi Baez, and then we got to give somebody a nod for the Orioles. Uh, and Rafi Devers isn't on isn't on the ballot anymore for the AL. So Ryan O'Hearn,
Come on
uh,
down, right?
like who is there somebody else that should probably be in that DH spot? Yeah, probably, but somebody has to make it for the Orioles this year.
So there's two things that I'm going to say about the American League. Number one, um, look at the resurgence of the Tigers.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay, we just need to talk. We got Riley Green, you got Glaber Tor. Like,
Three
look at the
starters.
resurgence, right?
I mean, look at the resurgence of Javi Baez. Like
Oh my gosh,
this guy was dirt for the last 3 years. And now all of a
correct,
sudden he's an
correct,
all-star again.
correct, correct. And so you have that resurgence, and number two, you have a guy who's playing pretty well at the plate, but he doesn't have a true position anymore. And that's why Glaber Torres gets in, and there's not a height requirement in the All-Star game. So Jose Altuve could have made it, but he's not going to make it as left fielder. He'd have to because his defense isn't awesome. But let's look at what he's doing at the plate. He deserves to be there at the plate, but he's a man without a position.
Yeah.
So he probably would have been my choice. I mean, Mako Hearn, a guy who is one of your reserve players, he would have probably been my choice as the DH.
Yeah, probably. And you know what? I think Altuve, maybe he's like the first alternate, a
Mhm.
player like that. And we know that Bregman isn't playing, so there's already one spot that's open. Or maybe we don't, maybe you don't know that Bregman isn't playing, but Bregman has said in Boston that he's not playing
Right,
because
right,
he's
right,
not
right.
back from injury yet. Um,
100%.
so maybe Altuve is able to fill that spot, and he can be an all-star in the infield because he can play the infield.
Right.
So the reserves, we have your favorite meatball, my favorite meatball, Alejandro Kirk.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, this name I love. I love that he is an all-star because he has absolutely been on fire. And if you don't know Jonathan Aranda, you better learn his name.
Learn his name. Yeah.
Uh, he is power and average and everything. He's what's making the Rays survive. And
Hmm.
not only one, but there are two other Rays that join him on the reserve list. And Brandon Lowe, who's just the captain of that team, longest tenure on the team in the starting nine, and is the veteran of that group. And Junior Caminero, who maybe they're on reputation. He might not. I don't know that he's having the best offensive season, but he's a pretty good defender also. So, I like to see the young kids. I always love to see the young kids make it. Bobby Witt Jr. on the team, love it. Um, J Rod, is he having the best season? Hmm, but he should be there. He's there on reputation.
He's there
Uh,
on reputation.
there's a player that's missing on his reputation on this list, which is surprising. We don't see Mike Trout on this team.
Right. We don't see Mike Trout on this team. We don't see George Springer on this team. We don't see Carlos Correa on this team. There's a number of players that reputation wise are worth the consideration.
Yep. Definitely. And you know what? Maybe there's some players that deserve to be there, that deserve to be there instead of them. So it's nice to see guys not making it on reputation. It's nice to see a kid like Brent Rooker on there, uh, who's having a great season with the A's as well. Pitching staff all over the place.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got some guys that had to make the team, I guess, right?
Well, the
Yeah.
Angels had to have a representative, so they got
Right. So
Kikuchi in
they
there.
got Kikuchi, but he had like a good start against the Red Sox, so he made it the All-Star team.
Well, the one that I like on here that people don't probably won't pay. Actually, there's two. Shane Smith,
Yep.
rookie out of Chicago, and
Yeah.
Brandon Wu. I like Brandon Wu out of Seattle. I don't
Seattle.
know about you
Brian.
or Brian.
Woo!
Yeah, Brian Wu, Brian Wu.
Ric Flair's favorite player.
Yeah. Hunter come at me. Zach Neto Brown deserves to be there. Crochet, obviously Jacob deGrom.
Yep.
The other person that's not on here, Mike, that I think will over the years, Zach Neto is having a really good season,
Yeah.
but Jacob Wilson is having a better season
Yes.
out of Sacramento.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out of
Rookie of the year. He's
Sacramento.
going to be rookie of the year in the AL.
Yeah, yeah.
Barring injury, barring something crazy happening.
Uh,
So
um, anything in the National League?
National League, let's see. We got Dodgers, 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 Dodgers,
Hold it.
Cubs, Cubs,
Say the
Cubs,
right name.
Cubs,
America's team, America's team, America's team. Come on now, Mikey. You know better than that.
Cubs, 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 Dodgers, Dodgers,
Yeah.
Dodgers. Lunch, lunch, lunch. Scotch, Scotch, Scotch.
Well, tell me, Fresh Prince of LA, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani. Tell me which of those guys don't deserve to be
Oh yeah,
on the
no,
call.
no, no, definitely. They totally all they all deserve to be there. I mean, it's another stacked NL lineup. Like I don't see any I mean, maybe Acuna, right?
That's
He's
the only one I don't like.
he's just coming off injury, so he's there on reputation. You know,
Yeah,
he
that's the only
he's
one I don't
he's
like.
yeah. But that's what happens when you get the fan vote for the starters, right? So, oh yeah, I know Ronald Acuna, right?
Yeah. I honestly, if I'm the commissioner, I say you've got to play half of the games to be able to be eligible. So half could mean there's 87 games before the All-Star break or 85 or 92. You have to play
Sure.
half of them. Otherwise, I mean, because remember, what was it last year or the year before when Mike Trout was injured and he was voted in as a starter and he wasn't
Oh
even going
yeah.
to come
I
close to
mean,
playing.
Mookie did the same. Didn't Mookie do that last year?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
So that's the thing with so when you want to look at like who deserves to be on the All Star team, you probably look at the reserve team more
mhm,
than like the you know
yep.
uh, and you have a nice
Hmm.
uh, reserve team here. Hunter Goodman, obviously somebody has to make it from the Rockies, but he is a great catcher. So happy to see him on the list there. Alonzo, Ellie, Brendan Donovan, who is just he's in the professional fraternity of baseball players. Somebody that just goes out there every day and plays the game and isn't flashy and or anything like that. You don't hear a lot about him, but just is delivers every day.
Mm.
A player that you love to have on your team, and that's Brendan Donovan. So I like to see him get a little nod. Eugenio Suarez having a resurgent season. Corbin Carroll having an MVP level season. Kyle Stowers makes it for the Marlins because somebody's got to make it.
Hmm.
Tatis, Jimmy Wood, pere- he might be at his first All Star team, but he's going to be a perennial All Star for sure. So, and
You
then
don't
you
know
have
that name. You better know that name.
that's right. And then you have Boston's favorite rental, Kyle Schwarber.
Baba.
That whew, man, Schwarber. Pitching staff is exactly where it should be. Also, let's see. We go Robbie Ray because there has to be a giant, right, Sam?
There you go.
uh, I like seeing Andrew Abbott on the list. This kid had a good season last year, and definitely deserves to be on there as well. So obviously the Giants have a couple players. Sam, don't be upset at me.
Don't
Uh,
add him.
right? Don't at me, Sam. Um, yeah, good, good. I mean, pretty good. There's no glaring holes. Nobody that really doesn't deserve to be there besides, maybe Acuna and Bregman, who, I mean, Bregman was having a great season, but didn't reach that 50% threshold, right? So,
Yeah.
uh, you know,
So, so let me ask you two questions, Mike. The legend pick. Do you like this or not like this?
I mean, I do like it. I think that that So can you just explain the legend pick to me
So
again,
yeah,
Bill?
so Rob Manfred stepped in and says, "I get one pick this year," and he called it the legend pick. It's Clayton Kershaw. So Clayton
Right.
Kershaw
Yes.
wasn't chosen, but it's a legend pick. So basically, he stepped in and says, "My turn."
All right.
Um,
So Manfred picked it, not like a
mhm.
panel of
No,
major league legends. All right. So he should
correct.
probably change the name of it. He should probably call it the legacy pick
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, yeah.
instead
But
of
it's
the
called legend
legend.
pick. I mean, it's called
Because
legend.
that
I'm
makes a
reading it
little
right
bit
here.
more sense now. It should probably be called the legacy pick. Somebody that deserves to be there based on uh, their full body of work
Right.
within their career. And Clayton Kershaw 100% deserves to receive such a nomination with his 3000th K and everything. And,
Mhm.
he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, best lefty since Koufax, all this, that, and the other. I love Kershaw, so I am not opposed at all. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think Kershaw has played the whole season or enough to qualify either. But since he's come off the IL, he's been pretty lights out.
Been pretty dominant. Here's the only reason I don't like it, Mike. I love the concept, right? But here's the reason why I don't like it. You need to do it every year.
Sure.
And you,
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest, Clayton's last season is probably next season. He's probably going to sign one more year with the Dodgers. He's probably going to do the farewell tour, get a bunch of stuff from everywhere he goes, and he deserves it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not being a homer here, but you will agree he is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, you get no argument about Kershaw for me. He's
So
my favorite, one of my favorite pitchers of
yeah,
my
Sam
life.
seems to think that it's questionable based on his performance in the playoffs. I'm like, stop it. And so, but
Sam,
here
playoff performance does not equal have anything to do with your Hall of Fame
exactly,
status.
exactly. So, okay, so here's the only reason I don't like it is because we know that Clayton's at the end of his career. So next year, Manford has to do the same thing, but you got to be careful because you can't pick somebody like a Trout who still has four more seasons left on his contract next year, right? You got to be careful in who you pick as your now, Mr. Kate Upton, for example. Okay,
Sure. Yeah.
there's another Hall of Famer. Sure, Max Scherzer, there's another Hall of Famer. Um, you've got guys that have contributed, but to me, I think this is a slippery slope because you can't just show favoritism for one player. You've now got to do it every. Does that make sense, or am I just way off
Yeah.
my rocker?
No, 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 definitely. And I think I like the idea of it. I think that
Me too.
it adds like an extra wrinkle
Hmm? Me
to
too.
everything. Does he get like a special patch?
Yeah.
You know, his tops and fanatics giving Mr. Manfred a little extra on the side for a little patch, special patch or something like that, how mine works.
I wasn't going to argue with you. I knew where you were going.
Right? But yes, he has to. It's something that has to now be every year, or
Yeah.
like at least for the next like number of years, until it's like, oh yeah, nobody cares about this anymore, and then you figure like something else out, like the home field advantage stuff,
Right.
right?
Okay. So let me ask you. Here's my next question. Okay. I'm not going to give you the name yet, but I'm going to elevate your status. Not only you, Mike, from Heads Up Sports Cards, the guy that knows more about sports cards than anybody in the history of this planet who's ever walked this planet. Okay. I'm just, a little bragging about you now. Now I'm going to elevate you. You now get a Hall of Fame vote. Okay. What happens if I told you that a player played through his age 42 year?
Okay.
Okay. He ended up with 1,950 hits. career batting average, let's say of 240, but he hit 450 home runs. Is he going to get your nod for the Hall of Fame? No
Probably not.
steroids, like totally clean. Is he going to get your nod?
My gosh, you're gonna like hit me with like somebody that I love as a player real quick. But I'm
You know
gonna
who I'm talking about?
I don't yet know.
Okay.
But how many hits?
You know what? Let's
Less
call
than
it
three. Less.
2000. We'll
All
call it
right.
2000.
Yeah, 2,000 hits. Or did you initially say less than 2,000
I was
hits?
looking at the wrong category. I initially said 1600 or something like that, but I was looking
Okay.
at the wrong category. That's runs.
Yeah, I feel like if home runs is your predominant stat, like 500 is that number that you need
Okay.
to hit. Like same thing with if you're like a starting pitcher with a career longevity, 3,000 is that number that
Okay.
that like automatic.
Okay.
So, not a 300 hitter. 2,000 hits is like borderline, but didn't get to 500 home runs. Albert Pujols is the fucking or is the man.
That's awesome. First time that's ever happened. I love it. Mike.
So he should probably get in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so I'm going to read you his full stats of his career so far. Then I'm going to read you his current stats this year, his age, and you'll know who I'm talking about.
All right, so
Okay,
it's not Pujols. All right.
it's not Albert Pujols. So his career runs 752, career hits 988, career batting average or career home runs 311, career RBIs 715, career stolen bases 35, career batting average 231. Okay, now the man is 32 years old. He's played in the MLB. This is his 11th season. This year, he has 63 runs, 83 hits, 27 home runs this season so
Oh, I
far.
know. I know who you're talking about.
Who is it?
Paul Goldschmidt.
No, it's not Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh, oh,
RBIs 63, and he's hitting 249 this season. The illustrious Kyle Schwarber.
oh, all right. Yeah. Well,
So,
Schwarber's not a Hall of Famer.
well, but wait a second here. Wait a second. You were debating it based on 2,000 hits. And remember, this is his 11th season, and he's got 311 home runs. I said that if he plays through age 42, which gives him another 10 seasons.
All right, you
Now,
extrapolated. All
yeah,
right, all right. Sorry, I missed. I mean, right now Schwarber is not a Hall of Famer. Is he on a trajectory to be a Hall of Famer? Possibly.
possibly, possibly.
He
But
he could be a Hall of Famer, but
but my argument is the guy gets 2,000 hits, and let's say he finishes his career 480 or 490 home runs. I may give him that because there's not I may vote for him because even with the average being 230, 240, 250 on a career basis, when you look at this, 480 home runs, how many people have done that in the history of baseball? Right? So, but then again, is your barometer home runs? Who knows?
right. I mean, if the Phillies or he goes somewhere else and maybe he gets, is an integral part in another championship or two, that, if he's a key player in a championship, which I think is a kind of an intangible measurable, uh, that might help his case.
Okay. To, to give you a barometer, Aaron Judge is 1 year older than Kyle Schwarber
Yep.
and career wise only has 38 more home runs than him.
Yep.
Like that's an insane thing. Like when you look at it from that perspective, that's an insane thing. Now, if if I were gonna say, Freddie, yeah, I think Freddie's a Hall of Famer. 35 years old, 2,358 hits. He'll finish his Dodger career probably someplace between 27 and 2,800. He'll probably play a season or two more because he'll be at age 38 when he ends to get to there, right? I I also think not taking too much away from this, but I also think that Will Smith as a catcher is starting now. Will Smith is a long ways away from this, but he is starting to put together a Hall of Fame catching career. Just my own personal thoughts. So for me, a catcher hits 2,000, gets 2,000 hits, he deserves to be in the Hall.
I think yeah, I think that it is there's a whole lot of like variable, you know,
Mhm. Yeah.
variables that go into it. And position is one of them, and it should be taken into consideration because like, you have like a traditional second baseman, a traditional catcher, they're not usually there for their offensive prowess. They're usually there
Mhm.
for their defensive prowess. And their defensive capabilities. So like if that's the case, then yeah,
So we've turned this into a Hall of Fame question, but it's just because but let me give you one more. I'm curious to see what you would say about this player if you would vote for him. I'm just going to give you stats, right? I'm going to give you stats. 17-year career. Catcher, 1,664 hits, 275 home runs, career batting average, 273. Five-time All-Star, four-time World Series champion. Hall of Fame material?
yes,
You know who I'm talking about?
no.
He started in 95. He ended in 2011, played all 17 seasons as a switch hitting catcher for the Bronx Bombers.
Mr. P on his hands.
That's the one.
Yeah.
You would have voted for him in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. I mean, and he also is like uh he is a Hall of Fame personality for
Yes.
lack
Yes.
of lack of personality or
Mhm.
we're talking about Jorge Posada because we didn't say his name.
Yes.
Uh,
Sorry. I knew who you were talking about, but
right.
nobody got the joke. Then let's not explain it just in case they're eating breakfast
Right.
this morning while we don't need to repeat that.
Jorge Posada was a prominent personality on those teams, and that carries a little bit of that intangible weight for when you're considering somebody for the Hall of Fame or not. Like I mean, at the same respect, like Jim Rice, was somebody who carried a negative connotation with his personality, which was a detriment to his Hall of Fame status, whether he deserved to be in it or not. So
Correct.
uh,
Correct. No, I'm with you. I'm with you, Mike. I would have voted for Jorge. I'm a Kyle Schwarber. I think he's putting together a Hall of Fame career. I just think he's going to end up at the Hall of Very Good.
yeah,
It's
right.
unfortunate,
So
but
catcher, outfielder, first baseman, DH, right? Like
mhm,
he's made that transition. So like that's also like, somebody who that's something that's a little bit detrimental to a Hall of Fame career. Uh versus like Posada, who was a catcher in one place in one on one team for his entire career. Right? Those are things that like mentally are positive, that push you over that line where multiple teams traded around different positions is something that for a Hall of Fame voter is usually like a negative connotation, a negative
correct.
thing that counts against you. So, while I like Kyle Schwarber, but he's probably in the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah, yeah. It just depends on what he does over the next 5 seasons, right? If the next 5 seasons he averages 30 home runs, that puts him now at 460, right? And if he plays five more seasons, if he crosses the 500 threshold, I don't think there should be an argument.
Sure.
Um,
Yes,
and
100%.
nobody in
500,
the
500 home runs is that magic number.
yeah, yeah, and nobody in the right mind is looking at Schwarber and saying those are steroids. No, those are freaking cheeseburgers, is what those are. Those are Philly cheesesteaks. I mean,
That's right.
there ain't nobody
That's
looking at Kyle Schwarber
country
saying,
strong muscle.
yeah, ain't nobody looking at him and going, I want to be that guy. right?
I mean, I'll be that guy.
Well, you want his bank account, but that's
Well, I want to play baseball too.
there you go. There you go. Well, Mike, as we wrap this thing up on Thursdays, everybody, I have to tell you, Mike, it's been a great honor to get to know Mike and just becoming his friend and considering, I mean, I've met his family, I've met his daughter. I mean, what he does, he's one of the most honest and genuine guys in the hobby. I mean, it's just been a tremendous blessing to get to know him. But that being said, Mike, what else do we need to tell him before we wrap up on Thursday? Because people are probably going, man, this is normally 35 minutes. You guys have been rambling on for 40, which is fine. We could ramble on for another 2 hours, everybody.
We
But
probably could. We usually do like an hour
yes,
before the show and an hour after the show.
after, exactly. We should just record the pregame and the
That's
postgame
right.
and
We'll
just
put
put
it
that
behind the
up
lock.
instead.
We'll put it in the locker room, and it'll be an exclusive content for
Yes,
people
yes.
to purchase.
Yep.
You know, I don't get to watch a whole lot of baseball these days,
Mhm.
but something that I've really enjoyed over the last couple of years is when we go on vacation right around the All-Star break. I get to actually watch the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game and stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking forward to over the next couple weeks, and you know, getting to enjoy the game on the level that these guys get to enjoy the game at.
Right.
That's one of my favorite parts of the All Star season. Is seeing the fraternity of the baseball of Major League Baseball get together, and really just have a great time together and celebrate each other,
Over each other.
which is the way that it should be.
Exactly. Exactly. I look forward to it because I mean, today's a perfect example. I had two phone conversations with people today about, hey, where do we want to watch the All-Star Home Run Derby at, right? And I always try to watch the Home Run Derby at some local business and just tell people, go down there, hang out, let's get some pictures, whatever. Pictures meaning snapshots. Everybody knows I don't drink. But
Pictures.
yeah, not the ones that you and Sam enjoy, but the ones that I enjoy hanging out with people. But it's kind of fun time to reset, reevaluate, a lot of re's. And so I'm actually very, very excited about
Definitely. Should be a good time. It's a nice time to pause and kind of reflect
that. Yeah,
on baseball and what the baseball community means to all of us and you know what it allows us to enjoy, you know, when life
right.
sometimes is a lot heavy. So
Yeah, 100% when things are very, very heavy. So Mike, I again, like I said, I appreciate you. We have done Top 10 Rivalry and Heads Up Sports Cards have been partners now for close to a year on these
almost a
box
year,
breaks.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's been absolutely fun. So typically every other week, although Mike's going to go on vacation, I didn't get the vacation notice, but I'm going to approve it anyways because he approved my vacation when I was out in Philly and Boston. Although we didn't get a chance to see each other, we were close enough to each other
Next
where,
time.
yeah, next time exactly.
Bill owes me lunch.
I, hey, we're talking about double or nothing on that. Let's because that I think we ended up at 9-7 or something like that.
Right?
But
It was a crunch.
it was very fun to do, but yeah, I look forward to it. So everybody check out Mike on Heads Up Sports Cards, posts on actually on Instagram. He doesn't post a lot on X right now, but we're gonna get him to work on that. And then also on Facebook where he does his breaks. Go check that out. Mike, you and I'm gonna have a quick conversation with you afterwards because I may have an idea for you, but
All right, I love ideas.
check them out. And everybody, what we're going to do, I promise you, Mike gave me an idea, and I promise you in August, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the clubhouse, which is free for everybody to sign up, and we are going to record our pregame, our regular show, and our postgame so that everybody can just listen to Mike and I ramble on about it's like a
Whatever.
it's like 3 episodes of Seinfeld all in one.
That's right.
Show about
It's a
nothing.
show about nothing.
It'll be awesome. It'll be our own little Seinfeld episode coming to you in August. I promise it's going to happen.
Right?
So appreciate
Looking forward
everybody.
to it.
Enjoy your Thursday all. and we will talk to you soon. Have a good one all.